and sustainable food production. So in particular, Samali is leading a study in Sri Lanka, contributing to the study of vegetables of sustainable health diets from food systems and policy research perspective. So today, she is going to talk about the food system policy environment in low and middle income countries and implications in food security and nutrition. So it's over to you, Samali.
Thank you, Dulmini. I'll share the screen first.
Yes, please go ahead.
I think you can see my screen now.
Yes, it's fine now.
Yeah, thank you so much for the kind introduction and inviting me to address all of you today. I believe this type of research events make significant positive impact on the world, as science is very is the base of everything in the world. So research is much more important. As a researcher and also PhD candidate from University of Sydney, so I really appreciate your all endeavor. So let me introduce briefly again myself, and I'm Samali, and I'm a PhD candidate of University of Sydney, and I also work as research associate at the University of Sydney. My research interests are post-harvest biology, food security, food safety, sustainable food systems, while my PhD is focusing on post-harvest biology of button mushrooms, which plays a major role in food value chain. I also engaged in research, food systems, and enabling environment. So today I'm going to talk about the enabling environment or food governance of low and middle income countries. Here I want to emphasize low and middle income countries, where I'm originally coming from as well, because most of these countries under this category are falling to provide healthy diet to all people. This is a part of broader study called Fresh, Fruits and Vegetables for Sustainable Healthy Diets, funded by IFPRI, International Food Policy Research Institute. A food system encompasses all the components and actions involved in the production, processing, distribution, preparation, consumption of food. So in production, even from land preparation and seed production, everything is included in these food systems. It also includes the resulting effect on nutrition and health, socio-economic development, and environmental sustainability. So policies are impacting on the food system, as we need much healthier food system for everyone. But policies are part of the answer for achieving healthier food system, but it's not the only answer. So, but policies can play a major role in the across the food system. Having well-developed and consistent policies regarding food and agriculture is crucial for transformation of food systems and the enhancement of access to nutritious food, such as fruits and vegetables. In this research, we have only focused on fruits and vegetables in terms of food. In addition, establishing a supportive food environment requires the implementation of cohesive policies and actions across various sectors that oversee the food system. So I'll move to the policy environment. So what is the policy environment in terms of food systems or food environment? So food policy environments have significant impact on the diets of populations and their overall health and well-being. I will speak through key points of the importance of food policy environments. So first one, I would say shaping food preference. The food policy environment consists of various elements that impact individuals' decisions regarding food, including the physical, economic, political, and socio-cultural aspects. Thoughtfully crafted on policies can establish settings that encourage the availability of nourishing, reasonably priced, and culturally suitable food, because we all know the food differs from country to country. We like to eat several types of food from several countries. So this food culture is one more most important thing when considering the food system. So the policies also can restrict the presence of promotion and of unhealthy choices as well. So the second thing I would say, addressing the non-communicable diseases. So poor dietary choices contribute significantly to the development of non-communicable diseases in the world, such as obesity, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, like many other NCDs. So policies that focus on nutrition, labeling, food marketing, pricing strategies, and product reformulation have the potential to enhance the overall quality of diets and elevate the impact of diet-related non-communicable diseases. So promoting fairness or equity and access to nutritious food. So food environment policies have potential to tackle the unequal access to nutritious food, especially in low and middle income, marginalized communities, because when the income is the main plays a major role when accessing food. So when these countries are in low and middle income, the very low income, so they are just trying to just suffice their hunger, not just trying to have a healthy diet. So policies that enhance the accessibility and affordability of nutritious food in underserved areas have potentially to improve food security and foster the health equity. So enabling health choices in specific settings, like specific settings, mainly school workplaces, healthcare facilities, and public places. So it is possible for governments to enact policies that can enhance the nutritional value of foods and drinks in these specific settings, like schools specifically. These policies have the potential to foster environments that encourage healthy decision making, particularly for individuals who may be more susceptible to negative influences, such as children. So, especially children would be the best set of citizens to teach good habits. I think you all will agree with me. And bring it to that the children can use to bring the message to families, changing the world. Education, health, and agriculture, all multi-sectoral approaches through the policies would work on school-based policies to impact on nutrition and well-being. So this holistic approach, creating effective food environment, policies necessitates a holistic approach that engage the diverse range of stakeholders, such as policymakers, members of the food industry, private sector, public health experts, community members, everyone. So the collaboration and coordination across sectors are crucial for development and implementation of evidence-based policies to tackle the factors influencing dietary behaviors of the people of the communities. So as I mentioned earlier, children are the best thing. So in many countries, like school meal programs, I think mainly in Europe, school meal programs are very highly acceptable policies across the nations. So sustainability. Sustainability makes huge impact of well-being on people as well. So United Nations introduced 17 sustainable development goals, and those sustainable development goals recognize the critical importance of sustainable food system in achieving several interconnected goals: economic, socio impacts, environmental impacts. So sustainable development goal number 2, which is zero hunger, and goal 2, responsible consumption and production, and environmental goals are on goal number 6, 13, 14, 15, and socio-economic goals 1, 8, and 10. These all the sustainable goals are very important, and all those countries which I'm going to talk about in this research are under these United Nations Sustainable Development Goal Agreement, but still they are far behind of reaching these sustainable development goals. So attaining sustainability in food systems needs comprehensive and diverse strategy that addresses the economic, social, environmental aspects, as I mentioned earlier. So here are some important points to consider about sustainability in food systems and the policy implications that come with based on the provided. And so here, enhance productivity and employment opportunities and value addition while preserving our precious natural resources, addressing the challenges posed by climate change, supporting economic viability, producers, ensuring equitable livelihoods throughout the food value chain is crucial. Encourage the adoption of nutritious diets that ensure food security for everyone, reduce the adverse effects on environment, which is a major impact on the whole world, is climate change. And these things are very important throughout the agriculture sector is because of emissions of greenhouse gases and including loss of biodiversity, water pollution, like these all are related to sustainable food systems. So promoting economic sustainability is one major policy implication. So enact policies that prioritize fair wages, improved working conditions, and economic viability for farmers, food workers, enterprises, and those who are working across the food system is much more important. And encourage and assist the adoption of sustainable agricultural practices, including precision farming, agroforestry, integrated pest management, and permaculture. Enhance opportunities to opportunities of small scale producers, mainly because low and middle income countries, they don't have large scale producers. So enhance the opportunity to small scale producers to access market and infrastructure, and value addition options are much more crucial. And also to the value chain. Value chain makes a significant impact on the food system because all these low and middle income countries, they are losing more than 40% of their fresh produce along the after the post harvest, after the harvesting from the after the harvest. So post harvest treatments are not much using these countries and also not practicing the proper practices. So then when considered social sustainability, implement policies that prioritize fairness, ensuring access to food security and nutrition for those who are most vulnerable, especially. Regulate food marketing, labeling to empower consumers to make informed choices to discourage the consumption of unhealthy food. And investing in education, healthcare, social protection programs is crucial for addressing the socioeconomic determinants of health and nutrition, specifically like the advertisements on the unhealthy food, which are on television, just focusing the families, especially the children. These things can be regulated through the policies, properly from the policies. The time that they are marketing and those things will we can just address through the policies. So environmental sustainability, and the environmental sustainability is much more important to mitigate the climate change, as I said earlier also. So enforce policies and provide incentives to decrease food loss and waste, which have significant impact on greenhouse gas emissions. And also food redistribution is another sustainable method to promote sustainable production methods also that prioritize the conservation of natural resources, including water, soil, and biodiversity. So implement policies that promote climate smart agriculture, which is the main accept of in the world in these days, and also renewable energies and circular economy principles in food systems are much more important. So when we approach policy, so it is much important to go for the integrated policy approach, which is embrace holistic perspective that takes into account interconnectedness and trade-offs among various aspects of sustainability. It promotes collaboration among various stakeholders and ensure policy coherence across different sectors such as agriculture, health, environment, trade, finance, and many more. Developing comprehensive sustainability assessment framework and indicators is crucial for guiding decision making and monitoring progress. So, transition towards sustainable food system necessitates a well-considered, coordinated policy effort that addresses economic, social, and environmental concerns. So, concerns all at once. So it is crucial to promote inclusive governance and engage stakeholders in process. So in this diagram, it says it is from FAO and economic, environmental, social impacts, everything get together. It creates the sustainable food system. So food and nutrition security. Food and nutrition security policies attempt to guarantee that everyone has reliable access to adequate, safe, and nourishing diet for an active and well-balanced diet. So the main goal of food and nutrition security policies is to greatly enhance health and nutritional well-being. Food security policies are usually structured around four main pillars, which are food availability, food access, food utilization, and stability. So, for food and nutrition security policies to be effective, it is crucial to adopt multi-sectoral approach that addresses various aspects such as demand and access, supply and production, nutrition, and utilization, ensuring stability and resilience. Demand and access, in terms of demand and access, policies that have an impact on employment, income, consumer preference, food safety, and functional value chains, utilizing also various methods such as cash transfers, food subsidies, and market regulations to enhance economic accessibility. So supply and production. In supply and production, policies focused on agricultural research, rural infrastructure development, and also resource management. Incentives that support for sustainable production practices and smallholder farmers are crucial for promoting a more sustainable and equitable agricultural system. In nutrition and utilization, so policies that emphasize the importance of nutrition education, food safety, and proper food handling practices, that those implementing regulations to promote food fortification, labeling, and marketing, they empower individuals to make healthier choices. So that will give people to choose what they eat much to get the much more healthier way to fulfill their diets. So ensuring stability and resilience, strategies to minimize risks, preparedness for disasters, and programs to provide social protection, supporting policies that promote livelihood diversification and climate resilient agriculture. All these things are much more important when considering food and nutrition security policies. So many countries has policies which are food which consider food in agricultural policies and nutrition indifferently in their health sector policies. So these things should be integrated and holistically multi-sectoral approach should be there to address it much more proper way and much more reliable way and to benefit for the society. So I believe now you have an idea on food systems and enabling environment. So I will move to our case study, actual research, fresh. Fresh is meaning fresh, it's a like abbreviation. So fruits and vegetables for sustainable healthy diets. So this is my first case study, and this will I mainly handled the Sri Lanka, and there are the three researchers from other countries who handled this research. So yeah, in this research, we are mainly focusing low and middle income countries, and because according to WHO, inadequate consumption of fruits and vegetables associated with approximately 1% of total deaths globally. So the global consumption of fruits and vegetables still falls short of World Health Organization's recommended intake of at least 400 grams per day. But the average nutrition levels in low and middle income countries are significantly lower than this, with the concerning prevalence of malnutrition and micronutrient deficiencies in these regions as well. So we are considering in this research fruits and vegetables because fruits and vegetables are main source of micronutrients. So on other hand, making sure to include plenty of fruits and vegetables in your diet has been linked to a lower risk of cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, oxidative stress, and also cognitive malfunction. So consuming a wide variety of fruits and vegetables can greatly improve and quality and diversity of diets, which has the potential to greatly impact population health. The differences in fruit and vegetable consumption around the world can be attributed to variations in food systems, such as differences in availability, accessibility, and cultural preferences. And many fruits are like the growing areas are also different in terms of geography of the world. So it is widely acknowledged in much research that food system factors play a significant role in influencing the consumption of fruits and vegetables in low and middle income countries. So when it comes to the consumer side, there's a noticeable disparity in the affordability of fruits and vegetables compared to the more readily available and affordable options like sugary beverages and less healthy foods. I would say unhealthy foods and junk food. So from supply perspective, agricultural systems have shifted towards process intensification to improve efficiency. This has resulted in focus on specific crops which gives high yields and in high quantities, which is much more cheaper and profitable for the farmers. But however, this specialization has come at the cost of reduced diversity in the marketplace, as the production of various fruits and vegetables has already decreased and consumer has less choices. So in addition, it is important to note that high agricultural productivity does not always guarantee that there will be enough supply at the retail level as well, or consumers will have better access to variety of vegetables. So this is not guaranteed. So policy plays a crucial role in shaping healthy diets by impacting both the supply and demand side of food system as well as the food environment where these intersects. So our aim was to examine food system policies with an emphasis on consistency, which provides valuable insights into how to manage and oversight fruits and vegetables within various sectors of the food system. This information highlights potential actions that can be implemented throughout the food system to encourage positive changes in food policies. These changes aim to enhance fruits and vegetable consumption and contribute to the food and nutrition security. The research was framed by a high-level panel of experts, Food System Framework, from 2017, which describes aspects of food system from technology and policy drivers through food supply chains and food environments to consumer behavior and also diets. We implemented the framework for this study in two distinct phases. Initially, policy sectors and documents were identified that are pertinent to various aspects of food system. These include biodiversity, genetics, and seed systems, sustainable production systems, post-harvest and inclusive markets, food environments, and also consumer behavior. So furthermore, we carefully choose particular policy areas within each aspect of food system that are recognized crucial for promoting fruits and vegetables, which is our main focus. As this illustration, when it comes to biodiversity, some factors to consider are preservation and utilization of genetic resources, enhancing crops and breeding plants, managing the seed systems, production policies and trade, recognizing the role of fruits and vegetables in biodiversity. Our work led by a team of experts who were like part of Fresh Policy team. So the study focused on two countries from Asia, which are low and middle income countries. Philippines and Sri Lanka are chosen countries from Asian region. One is from South Asian region, and Philippines belongs to Southeast Asian region. So Philippines, which is from Southeast Asia, the agriculture in Philippines plays significant role in the country's economy. However, it has been noted that there has been a weak growth in certain areas, such as the development of factors of production. Furthermore, agriculture plays a crucial role in providing employment opportunities, with the substantial 36% of working population engaged in agriculture sector. There is a diverse selection of fruits and vegetables cultivated in Philippines that proves to be very lucrative and catering the both global and local agricultural markets. The majority of the fresh produce that is harvested in Philippines is consumed within the country. On the other hand, there are a handful of cash crops that are exported in significant quantities as well, including banana, mangoes, and pineapples. In Metro Manila, which is the capital of Philippines, the population is the largest and their food consumption is quite high. But they heavily rely on imports for cereal and meat. On the other hand, Philippines is able to sustain itself when it comes to the vegetables. Filipinos tend to prefer lowland vegetables over highland varieties. Based on the expanded National Nutrition Survey in 2018 to 2019, it was found that Filipinos have experienced a decline in their fruit and vegetable intake, which is lower than the recommended level from World Health Organization. So the other country, Sri Lanka, where I originally coming from, and agriculture plays crucial role in Sri Lankan economy. Fruit and vegetable cultivation is highly valued as major agricultural practice in Sri Lanka. The vegetable subsector holds great importance in the agriculture sector, given its cultivation, distribution, and significant number of individuals engaged in it, alongside the paddy cultivation, which is the staple crop in Sri Lanka and the staple food as well. So Sri Lanka cultivates a diverse range of fruits and vegetables to meet demands of both local consumers and global markets. There are two primary categories of vegetables cultivated in the country: upcountry vegetables and low country vegetables. Vegetables grown in the upcountry are cultivated in hilly areas and consist of cabbage, carrot, cauliflower, tomato, and capsicum-like varieties. These crops are produced on large scale for commercial purposes, and vegetables commonly found in low country region are grown in the plains. This selection includes pumpkin, cucumber, bitter gourd, and all other gourd varieties like loofah, bitter gourd, snake gourd varieties, and also leafy vegetables are commonly grown in home gardens all over the country. The dry and wet climate in the lower country is favorable for cultivating tropical fruits such as pineapple, mangosteen, papaya, mango, lemon, rambutan. So the majority of people involved in agriculture are small-scale producers, because Sri Lanka is a small country and also low and middle income country. So home garden growers with land holdings are not exceeding even 1 hectare. So local vegetable demand is fully met by local production, with small quantity imported to cater the unique requirements like tourist hotels. Sri Lankans are more into starchy-based food, as rice is their staple, as I mentioned earlier. The per capita of consumption of fruits and vegetables are far below than the recommended daily intakes as well. So it is interesting to observe that in Sri Lanka, consumption of vegetables surpasses that of fruits. So we have two focused African countries in this study as well. One is from East Africa, And the other one is West Africa, which they are Tanzania and Benin. So Tanzania has about 40 million agricultural hectares. 34% of their lands are arable, and most agricultural actors are small-scale subsistence farmers with fewer than 4 hectares of land and low-tech rain-fed agriculture. The agriculture sector accounts 29% of Tanzania's GDP and 65% of its workforce in mainland Tanzania and Zanzibar. The annual cumulative production growth rate for fruits and vegetables in Tanzania has increased by 31% to 75% in past 10 years, 2010 to 2019 respectively, but this mainly due to the expansion of production area. Despite the increase in production area, the yield of both fruit and vegetable products remained the same except the tomatoes and onions. No matter what the production data, fruits and vegetable consumption rates are much more lower than the recommended levels in Tanzania as well. The other country is Benin from West Africa. Agriculture contributes about 33% of their GDP, provides about 75% of export earnings, and employs about 70% of active population. The availability of this foodstuff depending on their supply at the national level, mainly domestic production and also from imports. So cereals are the main speculation of food production and occupy largest cultivated areas. Nearly 11% of the population considered to be a risk of food insecurity in Benin as well. Fruits and vegetable consumption is obviously below the recommended level, which is like 40 grams for one person per year, which is so low. So I will move to the policy environment of these 4 study countries. So in Benin has given special consideration to the seed systems in terms of fruits and vegetables in their policies. Production system components are widely taken into the account in policies. Increasing the youth participation was given high consideration. Additionally, Benin state its strategic plan for the development of agricultural sector has set itself general objective of contributing to the improvement of the food and nutritional security and of the population. It also aims to increase the sustainable contribution of the agricultural sector to the national economy of the Benin. We have identified gaps or we can say opportunities in their policy system. They don't have active promotion of food-based dietary guidelines in policies. Labeling policy is mainly for fruit tree sector, but there's no proper labeling policy for all the other food available in the market. So lack of actions for new seed species and varieties are also a huge gap in the country. So in terms of Philippines, Filipino policies encouraging the planting of at least 10 fruit trees annually by a household. So policies also considered support for irrigation for its high-value crops. These high-value crops include fruits and vegetables as well. So there is a subnational policies specifically for highland vegetables at the provincial level as well. So Filipino policies are lack of prioritize the post-harvest technology and lack of policy mandate for food literacy among their population, and lack of mandates the health care program to influence the consumer behavior as well. So in terms of Sri Lanka, the government of Sri Lanka formulates national policies. Sri Lanka and policymakers are much more interested in underutilized fruits and vegetables. So they support underutilized fruits and vegetables in each and every one of their policies. So they support GAP, which is good agricultural practices, assistance for cooperatives, and support macro market infrastructure, and especially school based food and nutrition is addressed widely. So Sri Lanka's health and education sectoral policies having specific mentions in green vegetables, which are and also the leafy greens, because Sri Lanka is a country rich with number of leafy green vegetables. So gaps and opportunities we see in Sri Lanka are post-harvest and market access is not prioritized in their policies. The post-harvest, according to the research, post-harvest loss is above 40 in fresh produce, which are fruits and vegetables. So food safety is lacking in production systems because Food Safety Act, which is from 1981, is only addresses the after from the farm gate. So it's not even not the food value chain. So the continuous policy changes also by adversely affecting all the sectors in the food systems. So Tanzania explicitly considered provision of soft loans and also agricultural subsidies for fruits and vegetable farmers, and plays key role in higher quality livelihood and policies supporting to conserve traditional varieties, which is endemic to Tanzania. And we observe there's no different reference to good agricultural practices in fruits and vegetable policies, and lack of support to cooperative development and production methods. Also, it's not mandating and on enhancing safe and sustainable production methods in agriculture sector. So we identified common strengths in all 4 countries across the food system. So seed policies promote sustainable land use, management considerations, water management, agricultural subsidies, and support system promoting good agricultural practices, and also school food nutrition, healthy diet focus in marginalized groups. So meantime, common weaknesses are also in all 4 countries, like uh, lack of sectoral policies, weak approach of multi-sectoral approaches. So even though they consider the multi-sectoral approach, the action plans don't have this actually what to do holistic approach. So weak considerations on fruit and vegetables, because Africa mainly considering the cereals and cassava, but in Sri Lanka, their main crop is rice, and also giving priority for the export agricultural crops, but not the fruits and vegetables. So lack of retail measures and limited reference in food-based dietary guidelines to the public specifically, because there are food-based dietary guidelines, what you have to eat, but general public has no idea what is good and what are these food-based dietary guidelines. So implications of study findings. So policies that strengthen the food environment globally. Here we considered all 4 countries. So 2 policies mentioned like develop mechanisms to enhance multi-sectoral collaboration. So though policies mention collaboration, action plans are not supporting the real implementation of multi-sectoral approaches across the food system. So, and investments on new varietal development, seed production internally in the countries while safeguarding the biodiversity, we can strengthen that part in all 4 countries. And also moving to new farming techniques is a better movement with considering the sustainability with like permaculture, precision agriculture, without going for single crop cultivation in one land. So, and reducing post-harvest loss. Sri Lanka is much better than around 40, but I think Benin or Tanzania is above 70% of post-harvest loss, which is a lot, like more than half of their produce is going to loss during the value chain. So, and increase the affordability plays huge role as income is low in all these countries. Communication strategies, specifically nutrition education for the consumers to increase their consumption of fruits and vegetables is a must. So I'll move to my case study 2. This is the circular economy concept also mentioned as circularity to address the policies in Sri Lanka, like sustainable manner. So it's a socio-economic model that seeks to eliminate waste and promote sustainable utilization resources. So these systems utilize reuse, redistribution, recycling methods. So these strategies synergistically form closed loop system that efficiently reduce resource consumption and production of waste, pollution, and carbon emissions throughout. And here I'm using to the food system. So Sri Lanka is under a crisis after COVID. Sri Lankan economic collapse and created political turmoil. So Sri Lanka is going through severe food crisis, COVID-19 pandemic, Ukraine-Russia war, insufficient foreign reserves, and all these issues create a deteriorating of Sri Lankan food security. The acute food insecurity experience in 2022 was result elevated food prices, limited income prospects, and the low harvest. So severe macroeconomic challenges have led to significant disruptions in the food supply chain, resulting in shortage of fuel, fertilizer, and imported foods. In May to June 2022, the World Food Programme determined that approximately 6.2 million individuals, accounting 28% of the population, experience moderate food insecurity. Additionally, more than 65,000 individuals were classified as severely food insecure. The population of Sri Lanka projected rise by over 600,000 by 2030, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals also target in 2030 at the same time. So with this sharp spike, the requirement of food supplies also will increase. So hence the need to address the challenge of food security extremely urgent. The subject of food security is not addressed by the authorities adequately in Sri Lankan policies, and it's not a popular topic among politicians as well. So Sri Lankan government formulate national policies that aim to address numerous economic, social, environmental obstacles, while also steering it towards a trajectory of sustainable development. So national agriculture policy and overarching agriculture policy are draft since 2021 and 2019 respectively. So the chemical fertilizer ban, you all know maybe, and moving to the organic agriculture affected the country's agricultural production in 2021. Even though it reversed, still the bad adversely affection is still there. So health sector policies are revised according to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, but as the other policies are not revised, so the multi-sectoral approach is very minimum. So nutrition side and consumer behavior addressed in health sector policies, and production side control by agriculture sector policies. So these things are not they are not holistically, multi-sectoral approach is not there. So they do not go together. So the one policy is promoting one thing and the other one promoting totally opposite sometimes. And Food Safety Act from 1980, which is insufficient to ensure the nation's access to the safe food. And Sri Lanka, you all know that Sri Lanka is a holiday tourist destination, but to having safe food is much more important for the tourism as well. So the food waste reduction is a key area, focus in national policy for sustainable consumption, which is aligned with Sustainable Development Goal 12. So while long-term strategies are much needed to counter the underlying causes of food insecurity and ensure the sustainable domestic production. So swift action must be taken to tackle the challenge of ensuring people do not go hungry at the present. So there are many projects which are very successful in other countries. Access project in Jakarta, urban agriculture program in Argentina and undertaking in India, which are like food redistribution and excess project involve the food trash converting to the fashion products, and undertaking food like reducing the food waste by redistribution, and urban agriculture agriculture program in Argentina. This program eventually created several weekly markets throughout the city, allowing farmers to transport and sell their produce in a simple, coordinated manner. So those are the like main two case studies and my the food systems and how they important. So in food system, like as a summary, I would like to say the food system consists producers, value chain, consumers, private sector, government, everyone. However, the governments can play a major role in steering everyone in the proper direction through right policies. I would like to emphasize again that policies is not everything, but they can play a major role in across the food system. So better policies help to meet challenges and help food systems to become more resilient. And analyzing existing policies in the food system in several countries enhance the food environment, and it will help to increase the accessibility for the food. Like these researches are much more important. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions if you have.
Thank you very much, Samali, for your very concise, very detailed talk regarding this topic. So is there any question to Samali from the audience? So until they get ready, I have several questions to you. The first one, like, what are the main obstacles when you have to, like, when you deal with this, like, totally four different countries? Like, how do you find them, their political background? Basically, you might need to engage quite a lot related to this political stuff when you get the information, and like, how do you feel like when you interact with the local people to get the information regarding stuff?
Yeah, it is very it's very easy in Philippines because they have a proper data system with existing policies and which are not using now, and they have a proper system. But in terms of other countries, it's really low, especially Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has thousands of policies and nobody knows which are in place and which is already expired, and no one knows anything. But they uploaded to the websites, but they are only drafts, and sometimes the final version is not even uploaded to the government websites. But Benin and Tanzania, they don't have much policies. So in terms of when compared to Sri Lanka and Philippines, Africa, both countries have less number of policies and they are available for them. And but the hardest part was the Sri Lanka. It is hard because no one knows the policies, and it is even getting from the government organizations is not that easy, as no one knows, because the government changes and every time these policies are changing, and nobody has keeping track according to the policy changes. So it's a bit tricky and hard. And actually we have analyzed in terms of Sri Lanka, we analyzed the policies available on the government websites, and Sri Lanka also using circulars and gazettes as well, which we have not taken into granted when analyzing the policy landscape. Yeah.
Yeah. There's one more question, like the fertilizer usage. That is one of the main concerns when you considering this sustainable food system, especially in case of vegetables and fruits. So, how do you find it in four different countries? And
yeah, so in this study, this enabling environment is only one work package. There are other 5 work packages, which is looking at this fertilizer, and because fertilizer, it comes as the post-harvest and the safe and sound production system. So in terms of fertilizer and excessive use of chemicals, I would say. So these, Sri Lanka, it's not an issue as mostly they cook and eat, but the availability of fertilizer residues and pesticide residue is high. And Sri Lanka, it says that chronic kidney disease because of the high usage of fertilizers. So, and the other countries also have the same issues. All 4 countries has these pesticide residue issue and also the high use of fertilizers. So the farmer, when we speak to the government officials, they all say, no, we advise the farmers, but farmers do not follow. Then farmers are following what the market says, the person who are selling these fertilizers. So this is a major issue in all countries. So that's why I said the policy is major part, but there are other ways to like address these issues. So this, especially the fertilizer also, like high use of fertilizer make the soil infertility, soil stability, and also destroying all the soil microbes, and very the land is becoming marginalized, which is not suitable for the growth of any other crop. So it's a huge problem, especially in these fruits and vegetables, because they are not most of the crops are not perennials, which are like, they are short-term crops. So they are using excessive use of fertilizer, and it will go to the water bodies as well. And then nutrification occurs, and all these issues, and ultimately it goes to the climate change. So this is a huge issue, but the policies can still play a major role by controlling the access to the fertilizers to the farmers, and making them knowledgeable, and doing some monitoring and evaluation programs. Even though they advocate the farmers, there's no monitoring and evaluation. There are policies. In the policy it mentions monitoring and evaluation, but the implementation is the huge issue in all 4 countries, even though I speak on behalf of Sri Lanka mostly, but all the 4 countries has a big issue of implementation of these policies. So policy implementation is a must. So governments has to work on it. And the fertilizer, the other thing, is very sensitive topic, politically sensitive topic as well, because the fertilizer subsidies, in terms of subsidies, when farmers are accessing the fertilizer for a low cost, they tend to use more because they think that they can get a better harvest when they use more fertilizer. So, but the politicians, they do not want to change the subsidies, specifically for the fertilizer, because they will lose their next vote. So these are very politically sensitive topics and across the food system. So, but they have very adverse effect on the human health and also to the environment. So the implementation of the policies is the main, the having right policies and also implementation, that plays a major role in your helping the environment and also the protecting the health of the community.
Yeah, this leads to my last question for you, Samali. So it's related to the plant pathogens. Actually, in I guess you can, the fruits and vegetables are, yeah, they tend to get a lot of plant pathogens like infections. So in terms of One Health perspective, this is really an important fact that we need to consider. So how do you find the control of the plant pathogens and things in all these 3 countries in case of going towards the sustainable food systems?
Yeah. So in our our research, we are focusing all 4 countries using biofungicides, biopesticides, and we have some other PhD students who are developing some biofungicides, pesticides like non-hazardous to the community and the environment both. So it is much more important actually, because we have to control the pathogens, because otherwise we will not get the optimum harvest. So then the farmers will go off from the fruits and vegetables growing systems. So we need to keep the farmers, and we need to manage this environment, the pathogens, but still we need to keep the favorable insects community as well for the for pollination. So it is very tricky, but in terms of policies, these access that most of the countries are just making big movements, huge movements to change their policies to go for the organic culture, especially Philippines. Philippines is prioritizing the organic agriculture. Sri Lanka did, but it failed. But still there is a demand, but the issue is high cost because it is hard to control and getting low harvest and not much effective as chemicals. So that's the main issue at the moment in the whole world and all the 4 countries. That's very common.
Oh, thank you very much, Samali. If there's no more questions, Samali, yes, I cannot see any questions from the audience. So in that case, thank you very much, Samali, and please forward our regards to your supervisor as well. Yeah, and then we wish you all the best, and everyone those who joined today. Thank you very much, and see you soon in another guest lecture.
Thank you.